Because I think Dak is a better player.
What's going on, guys? Thinking Game Podcast. You dude talking about Dak's a better player.
Dak is a better player than people give him credit for. I've seen him make a lot of throws and make a lot of good decisions.
Uh,
You know,
so
I
yeah,
think
we
he's
warm.
definitely in the top 10 in the league.
Yeah, we're warming up. We're gonna talk about Jerry Jones, Cowboys. Um, Here's the thing, right? About the Cowboys. Do you think the offense that Mike McCarthy so-called is running, do you think that's catered towards Dak, or do you think he needs a better like offense to run to fit his style of play?
Um, it's okay. I don't think it's really that good for that. I don't think he's underutilizing Dak with his play calling. You know, Dak has a lot of weapons. I think they should get out of the
What
pocket a
weapons
little
do
bit
he
more.
have other than
Uh,
CD Lamb? What weapons do we have?
I mean, himself, like his arms, his legs. I think they need to kind of do a lot of do something different with the blocking scheme.
Yeah,
Having him
yeah,
standing back there like a statue, and
yeah,
then trying to have him improvise
yeah,
after trying to make a throw after the first hit. That ain't just good for him. I think get the pocket rolling, mix the
yeah. That's
defense
true.
up will be really good for him. They're not doing. They got a special quarterback, but they're not doing anything special. Uh,
Mm.
they're trying to run some version of the West Coast offense. Uh, I seen in one fourth down last game. I think it was in the third quarter. They made a good play call. The receiver was one on one. Zach hit him in his hands on the sideline. I mean, that was an incredibly accurate throw from him off his back foot, and the guy just dropped it. But when you get paid that amount of money, when your team doesn't win, it is your fault.
I think too the defense is just garbage, man. The defense is garbage. I think they try to switch to a 3-4. Do you know what kind of personality you got to have to run a 3-4? Like Michael Parsons is not a 3-4 linebacker. He not. He not built to go up against double teams. I
And
mean,
his
go look
and
at
his
Bill
numbers,
Belichick. Go look at Bill Belichick linebackers when he ran a 3-4. Dude had some grown men playing a 3-4, man.
yeah, like once
Like Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, even Gerard Mayo. That's a big dude, man. That's a solid dude.
Richard Seymour, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Vince
yeah,
Wilfork,
yeah.
uh,
Vince Wilfork was crazy. That's a once in a lifetime D tackle. That don't make too many. Didn't he run like a 4.5 or something at 300 or something crazy?
something crazy like that.
Man,
And
he probably
you
going to
only
get
get one of him. Like you know what I mean? You get you get
man,
him, and two bums off the street. That's your D
man,
line.
boy. Kind of
So
like the Ravens, man. Yeah, you gotta have some studs at 3-4. 3-4 is not easy to run without the studs, man. You can't do it.
and you got to have
What the?
guys that can move on the linebacker. They got to be
Yeah,
strong and they got to be able to move. And they got to be some kind of smart guys when they drop back in the coverage as well. Those
yeah.
no name guys like Teddy Bruschi, those what's
You're
the
gonna somebody gonna get a
Mike
double
Rabel,
team in the
you
three
know.
four.
So
If they when they run the ball, somebody gonna get hit with that double team. They gonna get stuck by a lineman. You know what I'm saying? They gonna feel the funk, and your linebacker got to be able to shed that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't
yeah,
easy either. You know, Michael
you know what I
Parsons is
mean.
not shedding no offensive line like running block. You gonna get mushed. You know what I'm saying?
And in his production and shown, I mean, he was almost a defensive MVP last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to get a Super Bowl winning team, you got to strike while the iron is hot. You got to ride your momentum. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
For sure.
And I ain't never seen nobody kind of do it like the Chiefs have done it. Like they haven't really made no major moves. They've been losing people. They lost Tyreek Hill, still won one. They lost XO. You know what I mean? Their offense doesn't
Uh,
really look special,
yeah,
but
they was
they're
undefeated for a while. Are they still undefeated this season?
still undefeated. You know what I mean? But they
Yeah.
barely making it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You get like two-time Super Bowl champs, undefeated, but every week they're coming in as the underdog as well. So that's kind
I
of
don't know how he's not making it with that put together. I don't know if do we got Tony Dungy as his defensive coordinator, man?
yeah,
Because
because
only Tony Dungy could pull that kind of all like he run that bum off the street cover too. I mean,
like
Bob Sanders. I guess because his name, he had an easy name to remember, but I don't know, man. It's like
he's
some
just
people,
like get in position. Like if
yeah.
you follow my plays, the ball will just come to you. You know what I
And
mean?
Dwight Freeney used to get some pressure, but Kelvin Cato was linebacker for the Chiefs. Was Kelvin Cato was the linebacker? Am I off on that?
Yeah, that was what's that?
Middle linebacker, outside.
That was Indianapolis when
Yeah.
Tony Dungy was there. That KO, Rob Morris, and the guys like that.
So is it the scheme that win more so than the players, or is it more so the players that win? Before we get into the real podcast, but is it more scheme from a thinking standpoint? Is it more of the scheme, or is it more of the talent?
I think it works together. So if you don't have the players, you got to have the scheme.
You got to have the scheme.
Sometimes you have extraordinary talent that shocks the league, like Javon Curse, Khalil Mack, people like that are just freakies, the Dwight Freeney, and they just wreak havoc. And then you kind of build your defense around them. We got a good pass rush. Let's put a zone behind them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or you got a player like Troy Polamalu, and you blitz him. You have him all over the field, and you adjust your defense to his strengths. You know, Sean Taylor. You know what I mean? You just let him be over the top of anything, and he can come up and support the run as well.
Yeah, man.
But you don't have like Deion Sanders, Champ Bailey. They shut down, or I can't think of his name, but they shut down one side of the field. You know what I mean? And then
in your opinion, who had the best defensive scheme? Not more talent, but the best scheme.
The best scheme is that
or that top Tampa, 2, something like that.
That Tampa 2 defense.
Yeah.
You
get
it's a prototype defense. Like
it's hard to run cover 2. Number one.
He had the players like he had
at every level.
Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks,
Simeon Rice.
You know, Simeon Rice, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you can I'm saying wrong one. Simeon Rice. But he did the same thing. He made when he went to Indianapolis. He
had the same talent. He had the same talent.
But he put people in place. He put the White Freeney in a Seymour spot, you know what I mean? And then he tried to do put Bob Sanders opposite of what he had with John Lynch.
Yeah.
Then tried to make some other linebackers fill the void. But I think the most kind of is basic, hard to stop when your players buy into the scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Tony Dungy's Tampa 2, then Bill Belichick's 3-4. They'll do anything.
See that better than Ravens? You think that's better than Ravens? Or Ravens was more talent?
No, that was my number 3, and I'm going to them. So
you think the Patriots was higher than the Ravens or more talent? You just think it was more.
No, so you said we're talking about scheme.
No, I'm saying, but you think the Ravens had more talent? It was more talent than scheme, or was it more scheme than talent?
Of course.
Yeah.
Ravens make number 3 because they had talent. So like
Bill Belichick had Brown. He had a receiver playing corner.
He was switching anybody out because he had Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy for a long time.
Troy Brown.
Lawyer Malloy.
Yeah, Lawyer Malloy was cold.
And then he put in Rodney Harrison from San Diego. Rodney Harrison probably going to be in the Hall of Fame pretty soon.
Yeah.
Playing dirty and stuff like that. One of my favorite players.
Yeah.
You know, then he replaced Ty Law with Asante Samuel, and the defense still remained the same. They lost Richard Seymour. They would lose guys. They put Vince Wilfork in there, and their defense, they were a Super Bowl winning team, and their defense stayed up there no matter the players they swapped out. Teddy Bruschi to the Hall of Fame. Do you think Teddy Bruschi is better than Ray Lewis? No, but he's going to the Hall of Fame as well.
I want to say, man, God, I don't know if it's a scheme or was it talent, but San Francisco, when they had Deion, they won a Super Bowl. That was a crazy team. Merton Hanks, And Haley and them, man, that was a crazy defensive scheme too.
So
I don't even
I
know
don't
what it
think it
was.
was
Was
a
it 4
scheme.
3?
That was a regular 4-3 with extraordinary players.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
I mean, that's an
Yeah.
example when you got the players, but that not necessarily scheme. You can do more stuff. You can put 8 in the box and still stop the
You
pass
know who really
when you got
stretched out
corners
a
like that.
defensive scheme? Um, um, the Saints when they had Darren Sharper, Roman Harper, and all them when they
Yeah,
won Super Bowl. That was they got the most out of their players with their scheme because they really wasn't that good. Well, that's when they had Reggie Bush and everything.
yeah, let's play over the top.
Yeah, because I remember they got in trouble for the hitting, like what they call it, targeting or something like that.
The bounties,
Yeah, the
they were
bounties.
and
Yeah,
people get them get them league minimum players that's playing for a paycheck. You know what I mean? You hurt somebody,
yeah.
you get a extra 100,000.
What about the
So
Raiders when they had Charles Woodson in them? Was it a scheme or was it just more talent? Speed demons. Just get all the speed demons you can get out the jacket. They had Philip Buchanan. They had everybody fast.
yeah, and they
Track meet
didn't
back there,
really
man.
a lot of time they really didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah. They
Like
had good
you
offense.
with the Ravens, they had a scheme.
Man,
They got
Ravens
a
had,
they
man.
had they get a big D line, clog it up,
Yes.
and free light Ray Lewis up so he can tackle anybody. And
Yes.
then have Ed Reed over the top, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
had Terrell Suggs on the line.
Man.
They
Man.
had a plethora of linebackers, you know what I mean? Whoever, Chris McAllister or whoever you want to play corner, it don't matter because they're gonna take care of the run first.
Yeah.
And they stopped the run and being, y'all trying to pass on third and fourth down or second and third down, and that's putting you in a bad situation. What
Yeah.
other who's their name?
I think it's
The
another defense.
Raiders, they did a lot of blitzing, they had a lot of
They
speed,
did.
you know what I mean? But like I say, they weren't the Super Bowl defense, you know what I mean?
No.
And their defense, they had a lot of talent, you know what I mean? A lot of talent, but didn't scheme it together right.
Yeah.
Probably number 5 was the Legion of Boom. They ran the
Oh,
same
yeah.
zone.
I don't know why. I like him. His USC defensive scheme was crazy. He always got some players that fit that scheme. Like some players that, like, was it Raymond Luger? He balled out in USC, but the NFL never really got that big like that. And Taylor Mays, man, he had a crazy defense, man.
And those
Was it
guys,
4-3? Was it 4-3?
I think they run a
Yeah,
4-3.
cover 3.
But the thing is that they run a cover 3 all the
Yeah,
time, and they'll put
yeah,
they'll alternate their safety down and kind of rover run support,
yeah,
and then have them playing the intermediate zone. The way his teams run that zone, they really understand their zones and what the other team is trying to do and what they
right.
need to do in those zones. Because, like, if you're a team that doesn't practice that and they don't watch film, you can be in
Yeah,
the same zone they are, but you're not catching the interceptions, you're not breaking up the passes because the receivers like Chad Johnson are eat any zone up, and
yeah.
they would just be able to be dominant
Mm,
for years with the
yeah,
same, secondary, even losing one of the guys, and then you can't keep a lot of guys together. But probably that's probably the number 5 defense. Like with the talent and the scheme, you just can't really beat that.
all
But
right,
a lot of
guys.
people don't stay true to their scheme. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get started. You know what I mean? That's enough little warm up sports talk because I don't get to talk about sports
yeah, man.
often
Trying
as
to
they
get you
do.
on the weekend, man. We got to get them free to schedule. I know I'm about to be done with school here in a minute, so it's gonna free up a lot of stuff too. But if you was up last night, I went to bed early. It wasn't even no point in staying up. But if you was up last night, I know you saw it. I know a lot of people were saying they felt it today. People was kind of rubbing it in their face, but that's just how the game go. Because if Kamala would have won, they'd have done the same thing. I mean, they would have done the same thing. But from a strategic standpoint, how do you think Harris lost?
Well, there's two things. We're talking about sore losers. You know what I mean? When they're telling people, "Oh, get over it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear people crying about who lost and stuff like that." Well, it just happened yesterday.
Yeah,
We talked about Puff Daddy for weeks. We're
boy.
still talking months, and people are still talking about that. Let these people grieve. It's the country's fate. So let them go through their things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Donald Trump has lost, and we saw the hurt feelings on that. You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
So
Yep.
you just gotta be mindful. Sometimes you gotta lose.
Yeah.
And be gracious in your winnings. But from a strategic standpoint, I thought I didn't really see any. I'm not the most political person's glaring weaknesses. She's got a lot of experience in office, being at her job, good education. Her resume looks good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She speaks well. No, I don't. A lot of people were saying, well, she didn't do nothing while she was in office. She's been in office.
She's
Well,
a
you got to
vice
look at
president.
the vice president's power. You know
Right.
what I
Don't
mean?
have that much
What
power.
do they really do, and what do they really control? And then if you're saying that, it's like, well, look at Donald Trump's term. Um, but it seems like all the mudslinging they did to her, everything stuck
No.
on her. You know what I mean? Everything they said, she's a woman, she's this, she's the prosecutor, and all this, but they said Donald Trump and the felon. They just shook it off. You know what I mean? Well, everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But I don't know.
I
I didn't see it happening for her. You know what I mean? For every one Donald Trump supporter you see, there's 10 more that you don't see.
boy, for real.
Um,
For real.
they're not going to speak loud in public, but when it's time to go to the polls, they're definitely going to show up.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, even though it probably was the best move, but I don't know if it was just really fully thought out. I think she should have just let him down his own sword, Biden. Nobody was gonna beat dude, man. He just changed the way politics is being done. I don't even know. Matter of fact, before we get into that, 'cause that's the next slide, but she really didn't have enough time to really run a full campaign. Um, and I'm wondering if she did, would that even would have helped her at all either. But
It did seem a little rushed.
yeah, it did. Having what 3 months or a few months, that's not enough time to really run. And then, like I say, the mudslinging was sticking with the border stuff. It's hard to talk around it when you actually see it happening. You know what I'm saying? With the border stuff, all that little stuff like that. But we're gonna get into a couple more things. But I think from a strategic standpoint, though, it was tough, man. I'm wondering, is it gonna be hard for her to run after this? Because most time when you lose, it's hard to rebound from losses. You know, what I'm saying in politics.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
especially on this scale. On this
it
scale,
takes a
anyway.
lot of money to do that,
Yeah,
and and they hang on Donald Trump's like every word he can say something ridiculous about her or the Democrats. It's like, yeah, he right. You know what I mean? They were eating cats. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah. I think
these
if
people.
Michelle would have ran, it probably would have been crazy. It probably would have been a crazier turnout, maybe, but I don't know. But yeah, she definitely strategies. Definitely, some things could have been tightened up, or because Trump, man, dude is just. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's just say, did Trump change the way politics is played? In your opinion?
I think he does everything everybody does, but he does it on a
No, I don't
different
think so.
level.
Yeah,
From attacking his opponents, you know
boy,
what I mean, and his misdirection.
he good at roasting.
His experience as a businessman sure comes into play with his politics.
He good at roasting too. I mean, I didn't think he was that good, but he really good at like comebacks and roasting. Pretty good. And I think Kamala try to be a traditional politician. You can't do that against Trump. It's like going against the Joker. Batman had to he had to be a totally different person to go against the Joker. The Joker don't have no motivation. He just do what he do. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump like. Um,
But that's a sad thing to say. I don't, think being the president should be a popularity contest. It shouldn't be like high school. Well, I really like him.
how
And he
else?
looks
How
like
else do
me.
people vote for them though? Who gonna sit down and read a 300-page policy? The average person that we know. Then when you go to Walmart, and you see people grocery shopping. If you gave them a 300-page policy, how many people gonna read it, and how many people gonna sit at the bottom of the basket and be putting grapes and eggs on top of it? They ain't gonna read all that.
Yeah, but
So it is a
sometimes
popularity. It shouldn't be, but that's kind of the reality. Like when you working 9 to 5 every day, getting your kids from school, people ain't gonna read no 300-page policy report. You know what I'm saying? The average person, that.
it was like I like him. He's got a trustworthy face.
You say so funny. That's what, man. Like she really wasn't doing nothing funny. I mean, she shouldn't have to, but
And
it's just,
you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean?
yeah.
This is a job. You know what I mean? And people don't take women seriously enough anyway, let alone in politics.
One thing about strategy, you
That's
gotta understand how your opponent's playing. Kind of like with football, we was talking about with football, man. You gotta have a scheme. You gotta you gotta have that Bill Belichick bend but don't break kind of deal. Man, I would have been if I know you're gonna try to. If I gotta really go for it. She should have been having the AKA jacket on with the pearls, man. She should have been stepping with him out of the rally. She should have been doing all that, man. But she didn't. She tried to stay a pure politician. You know what I'm saying? And
she
sometimes
tried to do the right thing, do her job, and represent the
it
country
costs.
well.
Sometimes the right thing can cost.
And
Trump,
be a classy woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can't be classy when somebody else is playing dirty.
Because I think Trump went on podcast, he was getting like 40 million views versus she was only getting like, 6-figure views. Man, that's crazy, man.
Like
I mean, he
said,
went
it
on.
couldn't be a popularity contest, but it looks like it was.
Yeah. So, go to our next one. See, is the MAGA hat the most divisive item so far that we've seen used in the campaign, man? Man, that hat is crazy because it's not saying nothing racial, but it still could be some racial at the same time. And then you see black dudes wearing it now. It's like, man, that's crazy, man. I don't even know what to think, man. It's like, man, is he trying to get shock value, get clicks, or what, man? You know what I'm saying? What?
And that's the thing in itself. I mean, if you think Donald Trump won off only white votes, you're crazy.
He didn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, it could. I mean, the country is.
He didn't.
I mean, we are a minority. But
I think on the Breakfast Club they said that he had a larger turnout of Latin American votes too. So that lets you know right there. You know what I'm saying? So.
And it's what it represents and what he really does and what the people use it for. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are going to use it to be divisive or to trigger.
Yeah.
Or be ignorant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You can let it trigger you, and you can be in jail because some elderly citizen was wearing a hat and they said something smart to you. You know what I mean? Now you're doing 15 years. So just relax. Time flies. He can't get voted in 3 times unless he changed the law.
Yeah, 4 years gonna go by real fast. I don't know how much he can do in 4 years, man. I heard it's pretty hard doing something like in 4 years. In politics, you really need like 2 back-to-back terms really to get stuff done. But I don't know. We'll see. I actually think that he's not going to be so divisive this time because he know people kind of got to figure it out. I think he's gonna try to do it a different way, in my opinion. I don't even care if he won or not. I just think he's gonna try to be a little different than he was the first time. I think he kind of realized like if he playing to that, it could probably not be good for him. I think he's gonna try to.
Why would he do anything different? I mean, he's beating charges.
Yeah.
They brought him up on charges.
I think that he may do something different.
He's been president twice. I mean,
he's an entertainer.
If I was him, I feel like I could do anything.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
I would be on the yacht trying to walk on water. You know what I mean? Because he's like the Celtic. Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible right now.
Oh man, that's funny. So this is the one I think that did people mislead social media about voting for Harris? So how many people pretty much lied, said they gonna vote for Kamala, they didn't do it in the booth? Yeah, clearly, some people didn't tell the truth.
Facebook votes don't count.
No,
they don't count. Nope. The booth is what really counts. You know what I mean? And then let's see. Facebook, social media is only a reflection of your small community or what you like. Yeah. Your algorithm, if you see, man, I don't know how she lost because all of my Facebook friends
Yeah.
liked her and supported her. But that's all you'll see
Yeah, that's
because
all
you're
you
not
see.
linked in with those people. Your algorithm shows you basically what you want to see. It's an echo
Right.
chamber of
That's
your
true.
own thoughts and ideas. So it makes it seem bigger, your support bigger than what it is. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you didn't go vote because I know everybody was gonna vote for her, so I didn't vote. That was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I said, like on social media, on YouTube, a lot of people saying vote for her, but I don't think in the booth they didn't do it, man, because she lost by a lot, man. But they like, it was close, like splitting hairs. She lost by a lot,
So, a lot of
so
people say, well, voting for her is taking a chance, but I feel safe with him because he got us through one time. You know what I mean? He got us through. So,
oh
so,
man,
so
the
I'm gonna
news,
go
but
with her because
they put
anything
Trump,
can happen.
they put him
You
in the
know,
dirty jail. Oh, they could put Trump in a dirty jail, but they put one of us in the dirty jail. Oh, he deserved to be in jail like an animal.
yeah. So, but if they vote her as a woman, the other countries won't see us in respect, and the Middle East are gonna bomb us. You know what I mean? You got people with that mindset.
I mean, you
Uh,
probably had houses
independent.
divided. If a dude say a woman should leave the country, dude could probably lose his wife, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
no.
stuff probably happened too.
And you got to realize that too. Like, especially we're here in the South in the Bible Belt.
Oh wow, yeah,
When
that's
we
true.
believe, um, everybody we heavily believe in gender roles, and everybody has a place, and a man should be the leader and the head of the table. How are we going to look? We're going to look at the laughing stock of the world if we got a woman leading us. And that's not wrong. God didn't intend for a woman to lead us. You know what I mean? And people
Boy,
will stand on that and die. And it could have
they
been
will.
Bob the Builder
Blade, ready to die.
um, running in against a woman. I'm gonna go with the man because a man is supposed to lead. Smart man, dumb man, kind man, evil man, cruel man is better than a woman. It's a lot of people think like that.
A lot of people. All right.
How can you love something you don't respect? How can you want to be with something? How can you crave and desire something and you don't even respect it and you don't want to treat it?
I'm
Uh,
glad you said dudes do that all the time though. Come on, man, be for real. How
and
many dudes that we know
that,
they'll have sex with a woman, they don't respect her love, they just dude, they can separate. Or maybe that's a man thing. They can separate all of those facets just to get something done. I mean,
so I love hamburgers too. But
yeah. So it's just like them dudes supposed to eat healthy, but they can find a way to eat a Big Mac. Have you ate that have you ate that chicken Big Mac? Have you tried that? That just look gross. I don't know what is about that. It's like too much, man.
it's the color scheme. It's too many color shades of brown. The Big Mac sauce
I
brown,
mean, you
light
got to
brown,
be
the bun brown,
man,
the
you got to
chicken
be
brown.
eating. That's a lot, man. I mean, the Big Mac already kind of pushing it, you know what I'm saying? But the patty's not that big. A McChicken though, two McChicken patties, that's a lot, man.
Three pieces of bread.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Man, you got something on the side of your mouth.
Oh. All right, guys, this is a good one right here. The percentage of men or the percentage of women that be honest with spouse about desires. What do you think if you could make a percentage?
Um, I think maybe 30% are honest about
Wow, that's pretty
what they
high.
kind of really. Maybe I'll go 40.
Men and women are about even, about both.
I think it's both, but in different ways. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
different ways, sure.
Sometimes women be ashamed of their true desires. That's why I got
Men
a lot
too.
of female friends. They'll have these wild experimental things with strangers.
Mm.
Then get in a relationship and be Mother Teresa because they don't care what the stranger thinks, but they
Or
care about what this man that loves
or
them thinks. They
with a
want his
stranger.
respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then me was like total opposite. Like, baby, why would you do this to me? But when you got men preaching purity, I want two. I want a woman to have a low body count. You know what I mean, 2 or 3. So this woman can't break out the really secret desires without being shamed. Like, where you learn that from? And now you got an insecure man. So a woman is keeping her desires. That's why I got my percentage down at 40% on expressing themselves, because they don't want to be judged by the desires. This man want Mother Teresa. She can't tell you that she's Cherokee. You know what I mean? Or this Misty Stone right here in the flesh. You know what I mean? So
Man, listen. So when you said a woman would do something with a stranger, but not want to do that same thing, in my opinion, not all women. I'm gonna say the majority of women. The reason why they'll do it with a stranger because you probably do it a couple times. But if you're married and you present that to your husband, he gonna want it more than just a couple times. Sometimes people withhold, whether it's man or woman, they withhold a talent because they know that their spouse gonna want it more than one time. Um, a lot of times, whether it's man or woman, people don't like saying stuff because if you ask for something and that person says no, the assumption is they're gonna say, "So why you ask for that? That's kind of weird." You know, you got to go through that process.
now it's a
If you get,
judgment process.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that happens a lot too, and because you see a lot of women out here. It's women out here. Now there is some dudes that's greedy. I say that first starting off because there are some dudes, but there are some women that will complain about their husband not doing something or looking at other women or all this other stuff.
Or not taking their time or
Or I
experimenting.
would challenge them and say, where is your skill level? Like if you meet your husband, y'all get married, all things equal, and y'all both start out at a level 0. 10 years later, are you still at level 0? Or are you at level 5? Or are you at level, what level are you? Are you improving or are you staying the same? Man or woman, are you improving or are you staying the same?
And you don't have to dip out to experience something different. You can
You don't.
experience different
You
things
don't.
with each other.
Right.
And people really got that wrong.
Yeah.
And I think
And
more men, I've been in relationships, I've been married. When you get to know a woman, you start to get softer on her, you know what I mean? And you don't want to bother her, you don't want to bog her down and things like that. But you gotta, as a man, sometimes you gotta really establish, hey, this is what I want, or I want more of this. And it shouldn't be, I don't want to hurt her feelings telling her that I need more or I
yeah.
need less of this or she needs to improve. Hey, baby, could you work on this? Or you know what I mean? Could
Yeah.
you try it this way? We got to stop because we want to treat these queens really, really soft, but we still got to get our point across. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't have to be vulgar or disrespectful, but you need to figure out a way to articulate your wants and needs because you begin resenting her and loathing her and hate to see her coming because what you see in her is a no, no, no all the time, and you
Yeah.
just like, oh, you know what I mean? I got no. The girl at Walmart says she'll do it. You know what I mean? The girl at the truck stop says she'll do it for $2, and you know what I mean. But we got to get out of that. You're not being kind to her or yourself, but by denying yourself.
Right.
So just really talk to her. If you love her, talk to her and say,
Right.
this is what I want. You know what I mean? Maybe draw her a
And
picture. You
it
know
has
what
to
I
be a
mean?
two-way street. I tell women too, that you see these women always talking about men cheating on them. Let me tell you something. I tell you a secret. If you take all a man energy, he can't cheat if he ain't got no energy. If you say a man is a pistol, if you take all the bullets out the gun, a pistol is useless. It can't do nothing. A gun without bullets is useless. It's just a gun sitting on the counter. You know what I'm saying? Man, and it's some women out there that know that. They know if I take all this dude energy, well, he can't even open a pickle jar. I ain't got to worry about him doing anything when he leave out the house. He don't even got enough energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
And
you know,
and
if
it's
you holding out, using sex as a weapon or a tool, you're asking for trouble. Now, like I say, there's some dudes that's greedy regardless. They'll get it and they'll still go out and but the majority of dudes, that's like probably a 10% of guys out of 100 though that's greedy like that. The average dude though, if you figure out a way to do that, make things balance, take his energy, he won't do it. He won't. He won't even have the energy. But that's one thing I just willing to bring out. Like how many people are honest. You know, some women be like, you know, hey, they what's the? It's like a percentage. Like so many women, they never reach.
yeah. And
Uh, they never reach the top of the
like
mountain. Like
yeah,
if
like
but if you don't know how to get to the
like
top of the mountain, how do I know how to get you there? If you don't know how
40%
to
of
get there,
women or something like that
yeah,
never have an orgasm or whatever that.
yeah.
Open your mouth, open your legs, explore your own body. You need to know something about you. You know what I mean? And then I can do what I need to do. We need to be able to be able to
But that's
talk.
never said. That's never said. It's like you want a man. If a man start experimenting, see, you might not even like that. If a dude start experimenting doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't have a roadmap to your success, how do I know? I'm just experimenting at that point, and you might not like the stuff that I do. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I
and
think that ain't talked about enough. You know, women always say men don't get them there, but it's like, dude, you have to know yourself. Most men, when you first start out, they don't know how to get there. You got to figure it out how to get there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm responsible for my own, my own achievement in that thing. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
make myself. I'm gonna drag myself up the mountain regardless
yeah,
of my climbing partner. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but women gotta make a safe space for your man. Like if your man is like I worked in the hospital. I still work in the healthcare for like 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's like 80% women that work around me,
yeah,
and
for
you
sure.
like you hear the same thing. Is at least in the beginning. Oh, my man is all over me. He always want to do it. He always want to do it. And you got one man. That's your husband. Like, well, that's a good thing. He's all his energy is focused to you.
Right.
And a couple years later, well, he don't even want to touch me. I found out he was cheating. Well, you holding out on him, and I know this is hard for women. Their minds are they're easily distracted by other things in the house and what's going on, and that's why you got to trust your man's leadership. And if he's not leading your household properly, you probably don't need to be there. And it's hard to get in the mood, but nobody wants to be in a relationship that's supposed to be fun with we can only have sex or we can only have fun when all conditions are perfect. Both of the cars got to be washed, filled up, oil's got to be changed, the dishes got to be washed, the carpet's got to be clean, the bathroom's got to be spotless, the lint tray on the dryer's got to be everything's got to be perfect. No, all the clothes need to be folded before you can even relax and get into place. Nobody can live to that standard. You know what I mean? I can only get intimacy from my wife or husband when all conditions, these 18 conditions got to be met. It ain't
Yeah.
about being attractive. It's just about
Or
all the
there's
stuff.
another one, right? Keep moving the goalposts. Every time you get to the goal, you think it's a first down. Now it's another 20 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Dude,
then,
where's the first down at? No, there ain't no first down. You just keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
but I mean,
And
my thing is, hey, if you don't like your mate, if you don't want to, have sex with somebody, you know what I mean. If you don't like her, sir, she's holding down on you too much. You don't need to be there. You know what I mean. If she don't like you, you don't like her, part ways, because it shouldn't
yeah,
be a struggle to hold hands or to be intimate with your partner. You know what I mean? You pay all the bills. You know what I mean?
yeah.
She not working and she can't. You know what I mean? Give you a massage. Um, that's weird. You know what I mean? If
So
you
we
don't
live in a
like the
weird world.
person
Yeah.
or a person taking care of your kids and doing this, but you can't rub her feet.
Right,
You know what I mean? I'm not your servant. I worked all day. You know what I mean? But she took care of your kids all day. Why
right.
can't you get down on your knees and rub her feet?
And
You
you
know
just
what I
got to
mean?
realize marriage is a two-way street. You know, you want something, I want something. You want something, I want something. I give you something, you give me something. It's reciprocal, man. It can't just be one way.
And it's not transactional, it's symbiotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm
These
saying. I'm not saying it's
guess
transactional.
what? The heart needs the brain to function. You know what I mean? The brain can't function without the heart. The heart can't function without the brain. And that's you and
And
your wife and
I'm
husband
glad
and
you just
relationship.
said that because a lot of people they'll say it's not transactional, but they'll make it transactional. Like when you just said the house got to be this, the house got to be that, clothes got to be washed. You're making it transactional, but then you're not following through on the transaction. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, it shouldn't be transactional, but I already met the terms of your
Yeah,
transaction, and now you're
yeah,
saying, "Oh, well, this and that." And
yeah.
then, but
And
then,
that could be either way. It's not just one way. That could be either way. You know what I'm saying? You know.
then I heard this. It's like financial abuse. Like, so I pay the bills 100% of the time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But you don't do this or that for me. But I always do my part.
yeah.
The bills ain't never late.
Right,
So if you stop doing this for me and I stop paying the bills, I'm wrong. That's
right.
financial abuse because
Mm-hmm.
like you can just stop providing services to me, that's okay. But if I
Right.
stop providing service to you, it's not.
And once again, like we talked about, skill level. If you get married, all things equal, y'all start at a zero. At year 5, year 10, year 15, where is your skill level at? Man or woman? Not just sex, but being a husband, being a wife, where's your skill level at? Because duties and responsibilities never go away. You just add to them. You got to be a man first. Then you got to be a husband. You have kids. Now you a father. So that's 3 right there. Imagine what's all wrapped in those. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a woman, you be a wife, do you want to be a mother? Imagine what's all 3 wrapped in those. You know what I'm saying? It never ends. It always get added on. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, guys, we just want to talk about that, man. I thought that was something. A lot of people they be hearing all this stuff on social media, but you never hear this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, being in the trenches in a relationship, I mean, it starts early. Um,
yeah,
Sometimes being angry because like anger is your reaction to an unmet expectation.
yeah,
So a man has an expectation on his woman or wife. I'm going to make you my wife. I'm gonna make you my girlfriend. And then they start expecting things from a girlfriend and they are not getting those things.
yeah.
But the relationship good and you keep going on and on. And then this man starts to get more
And,
cold.
and
He's
here's the
not
thing too.
fun. He's not
Yeah.
affectionate.
Before we get off this too, is there's a difference between what am I trying to say? Being ignorant to the fact, like really not knowing, and then there's a pretend like you don't know, even though you know. Like if you,
Weaponizing incompetence.
yes, yes. Um, like if you gotta ask how long it's been, you probably know how long it's been. I mean, if you know how long it's been, you've been going to work for 2 years. How do you not know? You know what I'm saying? But this that kind of stuff. Like people play dumb sometimes. I guess it's one time. People could play like they don't know. You know what I'm saying? That
I've
happens.
heard women say this like, well, I asked my husband to help him with the chores, but he don't know what he doing. I asked him to wash dishes. He have washed the dishes. I asked him to wash the clothes. He have washed the clothes, and I know he know how to do it. And that's weaponized incompetence because he's faking. He said, if I mess up these clothes enough, she gonna stop asking me
Yeah.
to wash clothes. And then women do the same thing. Well, I'm not
Yes.
gonna do this. I'm gonna be dry. I'm gonna be do this and do
Yeah.
that. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to do things out of the kindness of your heart for your partner, maybe that's not your person.
Right. That's
If you
true.
don't want to help wash your own clothes in your own house, take care of your own children, maybe you don't like that person. Maybe you don't like those kids. Because love is action. You know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
you don't want to be intimate with the man you said that you wanted to be with forever, you know what I mean? You gotta make yourself do it. Maybe see a therapist if he's doing what he needs to do and you don't really hate him secretly. Maybe you need to see a therapist or you just need to hang that up. You don't really like this man
Yeah.
because you shouldn't have to force yourself to spend time with him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's sexual and not sexual. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? If you feel guilty about like, well, this is a pretty good man. He be doing good for my kids. He do good in the church. He do good. He do the yard work. He fix stuff. Uh, He don't allow me to work. You know what I mean? But I just can't stand being with him. Like when he touched me, my skin crawl. That's not your man. I don't think you
Right.
should be with that person.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you want the situation. You want all the perks.
Yeah, you want
But
the
you don't want
lifestyle
the
and the
person.
perks. Yeah,
But you
but you
don't
don't
want
want to
the
be with the
person to
person. You
even
don't want to
touch
do the
you.
work. You don't want to do the work it take to be with the person. Yeah, for sure.
Every time he called me beautiful, my skin crawl.
Yeah. There's people out there like that.
And
They
then
want
sometimes as a man, you'll feel like that. Like, well, why I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and
boy.
you'll have him in therapy, having a stroke, having a heart attack,
Yeah.
trying to figure out why his wife doesn't like him. I call her beautiful. I bring her flowers. I text her. I help out around the house. I pay all the bills. And this woman just doesn't want to be with me. What am I doing wrong? Am
And
I
either
that
man or
ugly?
woman, you have to ask yourself, do you want the responsibilities of marriage or you just want the idea of what marriage is, but you don't want the responsibilities that come with it? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you just want somebody to pay all the bills, or you just want somebody to be your sex toy.
But they don't say
without
that right
treating
out.
respect.
Yeah, you know what? I just want somebody to take care of me. That's all I want somebody to do. I don't want to do none other stuff. I just want somebody to pay the bills, take care of me, so I could just,
I want to be one of his kids. I want him to
Yeah.
choose what I eat. I want him to take care of my wardrobe. You know what I mean? Pick out my clothes, go to church together, do this, and I want to tell him what I want. You know who does that? My son. Daddy, I want that.
Now I'm
Daddy, can I wear this? Daddy, son, what you want to eat? I don't know, Dad. What you think I should eat? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
just some people just really want to turn their brain off, and that's men and women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some
for
dudes,
sure. It's both. It's men and women. Let us know in the comments. You like to hear. You want to hear us talk about this more? Let us know in the comments because we could definitely talk about this. We 40. We done been through some stuff in our lives. So
I was like, what we got? 10. We got probably close to 20 years of marriage experience.
boy, marriage, dating, all this stuff. I be telling my wife about my little past dating experiences, but sometimes she can't believe half of the stuff I was telling her. But then now that we got older, she's like, yeah, I can believe you said that because you crazy. I can believe you said that.
Done it all. Done it all.
Man.
Oh man.
All right,
I started off with my past early too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
like
I do
we in
too.
the dating process. This kind of person I am. This kind of stuff I done did. Take me or leave.
Yeah, 100%. So, teaching scandal in Houston. It says how $1 million teacher scheme left hundreds of uncertified teachers in Texas classrooms. This is the first paragraph. It said Robert Bowley Williams was still seething the days after popular basketball coach and two assistant principals at Houston's first two historically black high schools were arrested in an alleged teacher certification scheme. I'm trying to find some other stuff I read on. So, it was a guy. He had a scheme going where he was giving out fake. Remember, like with the nursing scheme, giving out fake teacher certifications. Man, it's pretty crazy. And there was a lot of them. They was getting arrested. I think it's illegal, man, to do that. You know, that
course
ain't. Yeah, but
I hope it ain't theft by receiving. Like you received, you were tricked and you received one of those degrees, and they're trying to.
So here's the question. Where you just said, I'm glad you said that. Did they come to a point where they knew this was a scheme? When you understand what it takes to be a teacher, there ain't nothing you could buy a Double B's Exxon. You know what I'm saying? There's a time investment. And I guess the question is, did they come to a point where they knew, hey, this ain't the proper way to be a teacher, but it's a shortcut? Or did you feel like they was victimized?
I feel like they were victimized because, like, what's the difference between I see DC College and they telling me every time I look on TV, they're telling me I can be a Phoenix online.
I don't think it was
I can get a doctorate degree.
I don't think it was like
2 months. You know what I mean? Being a Phoenix.
I think he had a ring. The way they said it, like he had a ring. He brought some people in. Look, you want to be a teacher? I got a way we could do it, but it's gonna cost. I don't think because to be a teacher, you got to go to school for 4 years. Then you got to take a test, and most times you got to get a master's too if you really want to get paid at it.
if you want to be doctor grade, you know what I mean. You got to get a master's, but or PhD.
No, masters, you don't get your call. You got to
Yeah,
get
you
a
got
PhD to be a doctor.
PhD.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think they do.
You get a minor in early childhood education. You know what I mean?
I don't think they got a degree. I think they just took the teaching certification the way they.
Well,
Man,
it's
a rigorous. Being a teacher is rigorous, man. Getting that teaching certification is rigorous.
You ain't gotta do too much of nothing to be a sub.
No, you ain't gotta do too much of nothing. You will sub. I think you just sign up for it. Well, but be a certified teacher, man, that's pretty crazy, man. So, man.
I mean, I think it's one step above a sub, so that's
it?
what they probably thought.
Yeah, that's what they thought, but boy.
I've been a sub for 5 years, you know what I mean? I got enough teaching experience under my belt to be an honorary teacher. Like Shaq.
So I think I got my what's the name over here? Nah, that ain't it. Oh. Nah. I think they knew, bro. I think they probably did get caught. Like, oh yeah, we got past it now. We ain't get caught. We good now. We in the clear.
Now we up in the big league.
Then okay.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Man, nah, they finna. I think they going. I think that may be federal too. I don't know. But you know what's crazy? Whatever happened to them people that did them fake degrees for their kids, them actors and stuff? Did anything ever happen to them? I think they had one big news story, but then like it just blew over. You know what I'm saying?
Money makes the news move faster.
Make the world go round, boy. Man. But yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Then it's always black people too, man.
False.
No, I'm talking about these teacher scandals. The nursing thing was black.
But that Ivy League stuff, like that was the thing that money made the world go round. They switched the subject real quick.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, man. That sucked, man. Hate it for them people, man. Hate it for them kids, man, because I don't know if they mess with their grades or not. If you was taught by an ineligible teacher, does that mess with your grade?
You got to go back to repeat the third grade.
People trying to be valedictorian. They're like, nah, man. But
Step
yeah,
down,
guys. I'm going to get ready and sign out this thing, man. Just want to come by because we ain't going to be able to do it tomorrow. It's just been a long week, man. So anything you want to say, man, before we get up out this thing?
No, everybody keeps their head up. Pray for the country. You know what I mean? Whether your candidate won or lost, you know, we still here.
Man, regular people, that stuff don't matter on the street level, man. That's only matter for that DC level, man. Don't worry about that stuff, man. You keep pushing, keep grinding, educate yourself, and level up. And we out this thing.
Peace.